Hello, everyone. Welcome inside the Red Earth Production Studios for another edition of YBMcast. Today, we have some Legion baseball talk. And always, as remember, YBMcast powered by Game 7 Baseball, Game7Baseball.com. Right around the corner, get your team registered. Check out Game7Baseball.com. We just talked about some great stuff coming up in March. We got Dave Penning coming back on the show next week. So, spring right around the corner.
Into January,
right?
We're talking baseball.
I love
Can't beat it.
And we got pitchers and catchers be reporting here real soon. So today, though, we have on some Legion baseball talk. We have Russ Klicker, who is, first of all, he's a Zone 1 commissioner. You're also actively involved with the state chairman, working side by side with him, working on getting some things up to speed running. We're going to talk about that today. Plus, you're very involved with the Post 312 here in St. Charles. You're coaching there as well, aren't you, Russ?
I am. Yeah, I'm coaching there.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
We got a full plate.
I'm going to pull that up a little bit closer to you, would you, bud? Just make sure the people can hear you.
Okay.
That's key, right?
I'm very soft-spoken.
That's all right. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. But we got some information from Russ just here recently. We put it up on the website. But longtime American Legion player, coach, Kevin Jett is part of the 2023 St. Louis Amateur Baseball Hall of Fame and being inducted this year. It's in April, right?
It is, yeah, it is.
And Russ sent this over to me. We got the information, the blog up on the website, Missouri American Legion Baseball.org. You can go there, check this out. Kevin Jett. Talk a little bit about Kevin. What you know of him there.
Well, I mean, Kevin's been involved in baseball. He was a player. He was an outstanding player, and he's being inducted for his role as a player. But he's also coached. He's been on our baseball committee for several years. He does a lot of work for our in regards to fundraising and all that kind of stuff. So super guy. He's a retired police officer here locally, and he knows a lot of people. And so we're hoping that he has a good turnout, and a lot of his friends and stuff will go to that induction ceremony.
Well, when we sent this out through the social media, there was a lot of folks jumped in there. That was cool. There's a lot of support for that. I mean, and it's interesting, Russ. We always see big names associated, Hall of Fame and things like that. The Amateur Baseball Association here. There's a young man that has not when he was young then, but here's a gentleman that has spent a lot of time in baseball locally in the amateur, and I love the fact that he gets recognized for that, right?
Yeah, I mean it's really nice to see Legion guys be recognized at that level. That's a fairly prestigious group that he's going to join, and we're all applauding him big time.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's cool. You can go check out his stats, what he's done. There's all kinds of information here. But I think it's he played, he was a player on 9 league championship teams, and this is all amateur baseball. But O'Fallon, O'Fallon 1974 and 75, Cox Realty 79, Mavericks 87, Big A's 1991, C&H in 94. And he was a member of two little league World Series championship teams. Is that what that? My goodness. He was selected for 12 EMBA All-Star games and was president of the EMBA board for 10 years. So he's been involved in the community and around the game. And currently, as you said, he's the treasurer for the 312 post, correct?
Yeah, Kevin's got a long list of accomplishments. I mean, and he doesn't talk about it. He's a very humble guy. He doesn't really talk about himself. So when he put all this stuff together for that induction ceremony there, and we got a copy of it because we're gonna go over his accomplishments at our trivia night
Sure.
this coming weekend, and it's a pretty extensive list. I was impressed. It was very impressive. Yeah,
That's nice, right?
it is.
So if you get a chance, guys, go check out the blog on the website. It's under Mo Legion Baseball News, but it's MissouriAmericanLegionBaseball.org. Go check that out. I think it's a real interesting information there, and kind of see, here's a gentleman that baseball's been a big part of his life and never played at the major league level. Or anything, and that's okay, and it still had an impact on the game.
Right, and I mean, and along that same line, there's another Legion guy from the area, AJ Koenig, and he was a manager, coach, assistant coach at Lindenwood for years, and he's also got a very impressive resume with baseball. I think he's worked with 80 or so ball players that have made it on to college level, and I think. He's worked with 5 guys that have made it into the major leagues. So, so these guys work hard. They've dedicated basically a good portion of their lives to baseball. So you've got to commend them for that. Yeah,
absolutely. Russ, we're going to talk a little bit about something that you spearheaded, took the lead on this for Legion Baseball. There is the St. Louis Metro Collegiate League. Here locally, plays in the summertime. And what was the reason behind, first of all, the American Legion baseball program, Missouri, and it will have Illinois, it's a combined effort, is going to have a team in the Metro Collegiate League this year. And I think that's really impressive. What prompted you to put that in motion?
Well, it's really kind of a funny story, and my son played in that league.
Okay.
Kevin Jett played in that league.
Mm-hmm.
Rick Reno from St. Peter's, his son played in the league. So there's been a lot of Legion players that have gone through that league. Well-respected league. Actually, one day I was thinking about when my son played, to enter that league, you had to go into a draft system. And then the coaches drafted the players. So I contacted the guys out there, Marty Stein and them. And I said, Marty, what do you guys do with the players that don't make a team? Because I wanted to maybe offer them something with Legion baseball. And he goes, well, we did away with the draft a couple years ago, but what do you guys think about putting a team in? So it kind of went down that path. So that's how it all transpired. And, of course, it aligns really well with this statewide mentality that we're shifting to right now, where we're looking at the power of Legion baseball across the state as one big club. So when we do that, and then we also look at the St. Louis metro region that goes up into Illinois. So theoretically, we've got a pretty big area to pull players from, and we're just trying to overcome some communication challenges to do that, but we're already rostering. We're well on our way. I think we've got 7 players signed up already. So we got off to the first couple of weeks. We're kind of a slow start, but it's gaining momentum right now, and we're hoping that even maybe we'll get 2 teams and we'll add another team next year.
Oh, wow. Wow. The St. Louis Metro Collegiate League, you're looking at kids that are coming back that are looking to continue to progress, to develop, to continue their career in baseball to whatever length it goes to, correct?
Yeah, first and foremost, I think it's a very competitive league. Mm-hmm. So if a player wants to get in that league and they make it, they're going to get stiff competition. They're going to be able to grow. They're going to be able, they're going to be able to get a little bit better and work on their game. At the same time, a lot of the players are at a JUCO or a small NAIA Division III or whatever school. They're at the small colleges, and they want an opportunity to move up. So
Right.
So this league gives them that opportunity, and I think the players really attack that strongly. I think the players that get on these teams. I sat next to a guy a few years ago when my son was playing. He said it's the best summer baseball you're going to see in St. Louis. So I believe that. There's some good ball players that are in that.
Yeah, it's always been a real it's a big time league. And it has a great reputation. I want to ask you, who now, as far as putting this team together, I know players, you got to have that. What are you looking at as far as coaching staff? What does the staff look like? How does that work?
Well, the coaching staff, right now we're recruiting a coach for that team, for our Legion team. Most of these coaches have college experience. They're either college coaches or were college coaches. They're in a position where they can help the players.
Right.
And I think that's what the players are looking for. They're looking for a coach that not only knows baseball, but they're connected in some way. And so that's what we're trying to fill. And right now I've got 2 or 3 colleges that are checking with their coaching staffs to see who we can pull over to do that. The coaching itself is it's a little bit different than most people are used to, because these kids are, once they come and they're available to start playing, our season starts around the 1st of June, you're playing every day. I mean, you're playing every weekday. There are some scheduled time days off and whatever in there, but every weekday and most Saturdays, if not every Saturday. It's so rigorous, like if there are rainouts and stuff, they don't have a chance to make them up. So they get in a lot of baseball.
If you still haven't got your uniforms all squared away, it's February. It's getting that time. Go over to Prime Sports Midwest, primesportsmw.com. Go check out our buddies over there. It's not too late to get uniforms. Whether you're a rec team, large club, doesn't matter. Handle any size. They handle any size. They can set up fantastic fanwear stores, and 80% of the uniforms, fanwear, are decorated in the store. And that is in Fenton, Missouri. It's all local. 1550 Ocello Drive. It's over in Champions Village down there. So they control the quality, the design, the creativity, the deadlines. Most importantly, locally owned and focused on customer service. Rick Benz does a great job down there. So please, primesportsmw.com. Check it out. Get your uniforms. Get yourself set up. And tell them YBM sent you. Mm-hmm. We appreciate that. Well, the coaching staffs. Now, are you looking at somebody even on the Illinois side, and how is that working? Because I know there's a connection there with the Illinois coach or the Illinois side of the. And who is the gentleman that, if somebody's from the Illinois side, can contact over there? Right.
So we reached out to the Legion guys over in Illinois when we were scheduling the All-Star game, and we're going to talk about that, I think, in a minute.
Yeah.
But when we were working up what can we do to put our best talent on the field to elevate the brand and get Legion baseball back into the spotlight where it belongs, we came up with an idea to have our best players in Missouri square off against best Legion players in Illinois. So then we met Don Wallace over there, who is Tom Rhodes' counterpart. He's the chairman in Illinois.
Okay.
And Don has a network of, like we do over here. So we kind of go through him to get the word spread around and stuff like that. So, I would say right now that of those 7 players that we've rostered so far for this team, about half of them are from Illinois.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that's good. And that's the thing. With Legion baseball, and it's tough, I know, because everybody they're with their posts, they want to be successful and whatnot. But Legion baseball has some great tradition and some great opportunities, and I think it's just great what's happening as a whole. Looking at it from this perspective and bringing that back, because it's going to take everybody. It's going to take concerted effort on everybody's part. But what you guys are doing is creating the opportunities for these players. If you played Legion ball, now do they have? And are you looking at all Legion players, or what's the scope of this, Russ?
Yeah, right now we're looking 100% at former Legion players.
Okay.
So guys that have graduated from our program, so maybe they're 19, 20, 21 years old, in that range, plus or minus a year maybe. I did have an 18-year-old that graduated from the program the other day, and I contacted all their coaches, to kind of verify that these players are legit and they've got good numbers and all that stuff, and they're good kids. But yeah, I mean that's it. We're trying our best, I guess, not to take players from existing teams. And you can play Legion ball until the year you turn 20.
Right.
So there was, when we first started this concept of fielding a team in the St. Louis Metro League, There was a lot of questions that came back to us about, well, what are you going to do? You're going to try to take my players? And it was like, no, we don't want to do that. There are a lot of Legion alumni out there that graduated a year ago, 2 years ago, that are playing, at smaller colleges that want to move up. And there's a lot of talent out there too.
And I think that's a great point. And that's a discussion I think, you have to have, because does it benefit them more to go play in a Metro Collegiate League than to come back and play for their post in that, senior? Which one is better? And I think that's a conversation that's got to be had, and we got to look at what's best for the player, correct?
That's exactly right. And that's exactly what Marty Stein and everybody in this league will tell you, that we have to kind of set those other things aside and look at what's best for the player.
Yeah, because otherwise, that's why you're doing this. You're playing in that league because exposure and opportunity, you're still playing against really high-level talent. You want to grow as a player.
Yes, definitely.
So I love that thought process. That's great. And the other part of this we want to get to is working with Illinois again. First off, though, I want to do this because I think this kind of leads to it. Legion has always had their districts, their zones, and then you go out to the regional tournaments and whatnot at the AAA level. But I think it's interesting as you guys are looking at this moving forward, is honoring players and looking at your top talent and starting to designate, or I shouldn't say designate, but recognize kids that are playing at a high level, exposure, opportunities, because regardless of what we'd like to, whether we think so or not, this is baseball today, where are the opportunities for these players to get seen, right?
Exactly.
So those are things that you're really working on as a zone commissioner, and part of that plan was this All-Star game, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, the whole concept is, let's put our best talent on the field, and then how do we identify that talent? And then you got to look back down to the district level, and recognition to ball players at the district level, all-star teams, just like Misha does it with your first team, second team, and all that. That's all good stuff. I mean, there's a lot of things that we have to have in place in order to do this well. We have to have a system in place, where we're looking at everybody using Game Changer, and then having some qualitative checks and balances, and what stats are we going to focus on, and that to select our players. Sure. So we'll work on that, and we've got plenty of time to get that laid flat and ironed out. But once we identify them, then it's just a matter of percolating the best of those players on up to the state level, and then we can do a lot with that. I mean, it's a big thing to identify the best that you have and get them out on the field, and then when the other players, the younger players, grade school and going into high school and stuff, when they see this, that helps instill a little bit better pride and a desire to play for Legion baseball. So it's good for everyone. It's good for the game. I mean, we're trying to get some of the college recruiters back to the games and all that, and I think we can do that this fall.
And you're the All-Star game this year that you guys are it's going to be at Busch after
Cardinals-Rockies.
Cardinals-Rockies, yeah. Right?
August 6th, I believe it is. It's a Sunday.
I think so, yeah. So I think those are cool things. Those are fun. And if you never move too far, if you play a little college and whatnot, it's an experience. I played out. There's very few people that aren't at the professional level that have played at Busch Stadium. Played on the field. I mean, I know I've been there. You walk around the parade, they don't let you touch too much of that.
Yeah, I don't know how you get any better than that. I mean, how do you get better than that? Right?
It's fun.
Yeah,
it's an exciting thing. I think it's an event. It's cool. I love that part of it. And to finish off this thought process that we were talking about, as far as getting players seen, working towards that next step. Russ, you guys have recently talked about doing some prep baseball report events. Mm-hmm. Talk a little bit about that if you can.
Yeah, I mean, this is another avenue I think that we're going to pursue in order to get our players kind of out there on the board, so they can be compared to the clubs and the players that aren't playing Legion baseball.
Sure.
We're trying to work our way out of our own silo that we've created. So we're working in our own kind of vacuum over here, and everybody else is in a different one over in away from us. But there's the perceptions out there that Legion is still around. You know, I haven't heard of it for years and whatever. So we got to get back in the public eye, definitely.
And I think that's the key, and because it hasn't gone away. And there's some really good baseball. We're going to have Kent Getsy from Washington Post 218, and they're working on getting one of the regionals to Washington there, which I think would be huge, right?
Yeah, they do. They've got a nice field. They turf their infield. Colleges will come over and use their ballpark from time to time. Kent Getsy's a great coach. He's got a good staff down there. But getting back to the coaches, I mean, even the coaches around Illinois and Missouri for this All-Star game, the coaches can't wait to get on the field.
I think that's cool, man.
It is.
It's cool. And that's what you need. You need that excitement. Build a little excitement around things. I think that does show something. If people understand and know that you're working towards that process and building the program to help the kids move forward, that's the key, isn't it, Russ?
I mean, as long as you stay centered on that,
yeah,
I don't think you can go wrong.
And exactly, because we know, and there's always the good side of things and the bad side of things. We understand that, and that's the key, is finding the people that are there for the right reasons, right?
Correct. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to, because I think, because Washington and Getsy, they've done some scouting situations before down there at their facility, right?
Yeah, Kent, I guess a few years ago, and I've been with Legion, this will be my third year with them. So there's a lot of history that I'm still catching up with. But
Sure.
I believe that Kent started a deal a few years ago where he brings in up to a dozen local college coaches to actually score Legion-only showcase. And so they do evaluations of all the players, and so they're active participants. They're not just there watching, which is a great concept. And then the PBR is like the next step. It's the next level, to get the better equipment out there and to get
right. Yeah, that laser.
Yeah.
Yeah. They do a good job with that stuff. But I love the thought process here. There's great guys over on the other side with Jim Moran, what he's done over on the western side of the state, right?
Yeah, absolutely. When I started to acclimate to this Legion environment and learn the history of all those guys, it's just amazing. I mean, they've been around a while,
right?
And they've been through a lot. They've got a ton of experience. Great coaches on and off the field.
And there's some good dudes and some good stuff happening south of us. From Cape Girard, St. Genevieve, and all that.
Yeah, like Jackson area down there and all that. Yeah. There's hotbeds pop up every once in a while, and our Legion coaches, many of them are also the high school coaches once you get out in those rural areas, and they've got some ball players down there.
Absolutely. I love what we had a great conversation with the guys from Hillsboro coming on new with the program. They're excited. And but Festus, Jackson, St. all that right there is some really good baseball, Legion baseball. So check it out if you're looking for a place, right? And
That's right.
You're still there's great opportunities there, and I'll say this, and this is true. As a parent, sometimes, and especially right now, the economy's kind of right. Not to get political, but it's true. And if it's something, as a parent, you're looking at cost and fees and things, and it's just the reality of the whole process. Legion puts one of the most cost-effective situations together, don't they?
Well, it's because we're a nonprofit, and for-profit organizations have to set budget lines. They have to set thresholds for how much income they need to survive. And we just don't have to do that. So we're subsidized a little bit by our post, by the American Legion organization.
Sure.
We're subsidized there, and we were able to do some fundraisers, and we've got connections because we've been doing this thing for like 100 years now.
Yeah.
So we're able to leverage all that stuff. We keep the prices down, but don't come and play for Legion because they're cheap.
No, I get you.
Come
I
and play
understand.
because they're giving you a good program.
And
Yeah.
I'm with you, and that's what I'm saying. There are good programs, but if it's a budget situation and you know your pocketbook and you've maybe played and you're like, I don't know, there is those opportunities, and it can help your pocketbook as well.
Yeah, I mean, I know that some clubs will help underserved players. They'll do that. We do. We actually, Kevin Jett has been a very strong force in keeping our prices down. Now, we started charging a little bit because we're doing winter training and we're doing fall ball. We're doing things now that we haven't done in the past. But I'll tell you that woven into the fabric of Legion baseball is affordability and a consciousness about helping the underserved and the kids that don't. And I think Kevin, if he tells his story, he comes from a background like that, and he was given opportunities. And it's just amazing to hear him talk about it and what Legion has been able, how playing Legion baseball helped him.
There you go. I love that stuff. See, that's where you want to go and look at the giving back to the community, being part of the community, and that's what baseball should be about. Even that, and I know there's a lot of clubs, period, about that are thinking about how we help and serve the community. So it's baseball, man.
It is. It's baseball.
That's right.
Yeah. When you strip everything else off, it's baseball.
It's just a game. That's right. That's right. It's just a game. Russ, thanks, man.
All right. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Oh,
Always
no,
a
man.
pleasure.
I enjoy. You got it. This second time we've had Russ on, so we'll get him back again, and we'll keep that because I love the conversation. I love what you're doing as far as the work you're putting in, and I know you're committed to helping continue to build the American Legion program back. I love that. I think it's a great thing, and I know you're doing it for the right reasons.
Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. Russ Klicker, Post 312 St. Charles. Go check them out. This if you're still looking, you got any spots open still?
Oh, we could probably squeeze a spot or two. Yeah.
If you're looking for a spot, go check them out. There you go. And Metro Collegiate League, you can contact Russ. You can go to the website, Missouri, AmericanLegionBaseball.org. Go check that out. Contact Russ if you're interested in the Metro Collegiate League.
Yes.
A lot of great stuff happening with Missouri American Legion Baseball, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. Again, first time watcher, you like what you hear, whatnot, please think about hitting that subscribe button. We do appreciate that. And right next to it is that dinger. So hit that dinger because that's what we do around here. We hit dingers.
Yeah, that's right.
Got to, right? Chicks love the long ball. And so that will get you all your notifications for upcoming episodes. Make sure you comment below. Let us know what you think. Like it, share it out with your friends. We do appreciate you supporting YBMcast Youth Baseball Midwest. So until the next show, appreciate it. Everybody have a great day in the Lord. All you pitchers, keep throwing strikes. And hitters, got anything for them?
Keep swinging the bat.
There you go. All right. I love
Get
that.
it off your shoulder.
I love that. We'll see y'all next time.